Hi, everybody, and welcome to our informational webinar, Teaching in the USA with Educational Partners International. Our company is called Educational Partners International, but we often call ourselves EPI for short. So throughout this presentation, you'll hear me use EPI for the name of our company. My name is Jessica, and I work as an admissions specialist for EPI. If you've already started the application process, you may have talked to me before. I run interviews and I process references, so you might have been in contact with me. First, I'd like to say how excited we are to start this new webinar series and have a new way to connect with our teachers. We'll be using these webinars to give you information on common questions and concerns that our teachers normally have throughout the process. So before we start here, why don't you tell us where you're from? You can let us know in the comments below. Personally, I'm from the mountains of North Carolina. I've lived here most of my life. Before teaching with EPI, or before working with EPI, I taught English at a community college, and I'm really excited to be working with a company that combines my passion for education with my passion for international cultures and cultural exchange. We also want you to take this opportunity to ask any questions that you have regarding EPI and our process. Please leave any questions that you have in the comment section that you might see on your screen. We will be answering these questions at the end of the presentation, but you can ask them at any time. Keep in mind with these questions that we won't be able to answer any questions specific to your application for privacy reasons. So if you find yourself asking questions specific to your application, you should email them to team@teachwithepi.com. So today's webinar is a general introduction to EPI. By the end of this presentation, we hope you will understand the mission of EPI and know the benefits of our company both in the program and after you leave the US. We'll also be going over some information about how long the program is and how you can apply. So the first question that most people have is, what is EPI? You can answer this question in a lot of ways, but first and foremost, EPI is a cultural exchange program that brings international teachers to the US to work. Officially, EPI is designated by the U.S. Department of State as a sponsor for a visitor exchange program. We have become a world leader in cultural exchange, helping hundreds of teachers around the world come to the U.S. to teach. Teachers in our program are currently working in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. While we work with schools across the southern United States, our office is located in North Carolina, which is about where that arrow is on the map there. To get some understanding about the importance of U.S. cultural exchange, you may want to know more about the history of cultural exchange in the United States. Much of the cultural exchange movement in the U.S. was started by Senator J. William Fulbright. He was passionate about strengthening U.S. international relations and saw cultural exchange as a key way to accomplish this. You're probably familiar with his name because he created the Fulbright program, which is a famous international education scholarship. After creating the Fulbright program, he developed and passed the Fulbright-Hays Act of 1961. The purpose of this act was to increase mutual understanding between the people of the United States and the people of other countries by means of educational and cultural exchange to strengthen the ties which unite us with other nations. The Fulbright-Hays Act would lead to the creation of cultural exchange programs across the United States. If you have been on our website, you have probably seen this definition for EPI. Educational Partners International is a J-1 visa exchange visitor program authorized to sponsor teachers for K-12 placements in public, private, and charter schools in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Florida. But what does that actually mean? Well, as we've stated before, it means that we offer cultural exchange opportunities for teachers from other countries to come to the United States. Cultural exchange means that our teachers come to the United States to share their culture and then return home to their country so that they can share what they have learned about the United States. Our program is a 3-year program. After those 3 years are over, you could possibly apply for a 2-year extension, which means that the longest you'll be able to stay in the United States while teaching with us is 5 years. Because you will have a J-1 visa, after you have finished the program, you will return to your home country for 2 years. Those 2 years where you go back home are important because that is where you are really going to complete our cultural exchange mission. Of course, we want you to come to the U.S. to share your culture, but we are also interested in you returning home and sharing your experiences in the United States with other people in your home country. That is because EPI believes sharing knowledge across cultures, venues improves understanding among teachers, students, administrators, and members of the communities in which we live. This is the whole reason why we do this program. Your ability to bring your culture to the United States and then take U.S. culture back home with you is really what true cultural exchange is about. Exchanging knowledge and information between cultures so that we can understand each other better as a global community. So what does this kind of cultural exchange look like? As a teacher with EPI, you will create projects and events to help share some of your culture with your students and fellow teachers in the U.S. Today, we have a couple of examples of projects that our teachers have done in the past. Here you can see where one of our teachers from China organized a traditional Chinese New Year's festival. For the festival, her students made costumes so that they could put on a parade for the school. The parade gave other classes the opportunity to experience her culture as well. They also performed traditional songs and dances and wore traditional Chinese clothing to celebrate. One of our dual language teachers from Chile had her students write a book entirely in Spanish, which they then published. The book was called Changing the World, and here you can see her students reading it. You can also see some of the pictures her students drew for the book. This is a project that another one of our Chinese teachers did, and as you can see, he had a different approach to sharing Chinese culture. He organized a pen pal program between U.S. students and Chinese students, which he called the International Academic Friendship Program. Here are some of the pictures of the letters that they wrote to each other. And here's an event that a couple of our Jamaican teachers did together. For this event, they made Jamaican food. They also taught traditional dances to the students and teachers at the school. As you can see, we provide many opportunities for you to share your culture with your school here in the United States. And there are many different ways that you can go about doing this. You will really have the opportunity to find out what you're really passionate about in regards to your culture and to share that with your students and teachers in the United States. So now that you have more of a background on who we are and what we do, it's time to talk about what benefits you get from participating in our program. As we keep talking about, the most obvious benefit is that you will get to encounter new cultural experiences, experience life in the United States, and share your culture with people who would not normally experience it. Your students here may not know very much at all about life in your home country, and you will get to share things with your students that they would have never known otherwise. By doing this, you will also have the opportunity to make a positive impact for students all over the world, not just in your home country. Also, one of the most important things that we offer you is personal and professional support for your time here in the United States. We think teacher support is a major part of this whole process and one of the most important things that we do. We are invested in your success, so we are available as a resource for you even after you arrive in the United States. So let's talk more in depth about the type of support that we offer our teachers. EPI's support program is an area of pride for us as a cultural exchange program. We start our support program immediately after our teachers are chosen for a position in the United States. As soon as you are hired by a school, one of our dedicated and trained teacher support specialists will contact you to help guide you through the process of moving to the United States. They will start by giving you a welcome packet with information on your new community. This packet includes information about everything from housing and medical services to food and entertainment. Our teacher support specialists are familiar with the places our teachers work and can help you create a budget, find housing, and make a plan for your transportation. The relationship between you and your teacher support specialist is an important one and will continue throughout your time as an EPI program member. Your teacher support specialist will be in touch with you during orientation and post-arrival. Should you need help of any kind while you are in the U.S., our teacher support specialists are ready to help. We want you to come to us with your challenges so that we can help you overcome them. In addition to our teacher support specialists, we offer instructional support. Our team of instructional support specialists are education professionals who are familiar with the expectations of U.S. schools, and they can help you with any issue that you have in the classroom. At EPI, we understand that American students need the international perspective that teachers like you bring, and we are dedicated in doing all we can to help you deliver it. From culture shock to meeting the needs of struggling learners, we are here to support you. EPI is a program that not only provides benefits while you are here, but also when you return to your home country. The experiences and professional development that you will have while in the United States is something that you will carry with you your whole life. Once you are done with our program, you will be able to go home with a new perspective that will enrich your personal and professional life. Also, participating in this program means that you are now a world educator. You are a teacher who has taught students from multiple countries all over the world. Experiences like these are truly life-changing, and you will not be the same kind of teacher or person that you were before you came here, which we consider to be one of the major benefits of participating in our program. So before we finish talking about the benefits that EPI has to offer, here's what some of our teachers have to say about their time in the United States. Nicole from Jamaica says, I recently arrived in North Carolina and my perspective on teaching has positively changed. I especially appreciate the staff of EPI for their hard work and dedication to each EPI teacher. Archibeth from the Philippines says, I am enjoying my job as a science teacher and sharing Philippine culture with my students and colleagues who are very interested to know my country. I cannot ask for more, and I'm grateful to EPI for giving me the chance to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To hear more from our teachers, visit our Facebook page. We have posted several videos of our teachers talking about their cultural exchange experiences. So now that you know more about us, the question is EPI right for you? Here we have listed some of the basic requirements for our program. EPI teachers must have a bachelor's degree. They must have at least 2 years of full-time teaching experience. They must be currently teaching, and they must have advanced English skills. So if that sounds like it applies to you, register at teachwithepi.com and start the application process. To get started, you just go to the home page and scroll down until you see the page that looks like the picture I have here on the slide. Then you click on the big orange button that says Apply to Teach in the U.S. And all you need to begin your application is an email address. If you have already started the application process, be sure that you are regularly checking your email for updates on your application status and anything else we might need from you to move you along in the process. Also, you can attend our future webinars for more information about the program. We will be airing them regularly from here on, so please come out and watch them. Okay, so now it's time to answer some of the questions you have been leaving for us. I'm going to start off by just answering some questions that we typically get to give you some time to leave some questions in the comments for us. So some of these I've already answered in the presentation. So a common question we get is, how do I apply? You go to teachwithepi.com. Review the eligibility requirements just to make sure that you would be eligible for the program. And then you click that big orange apply button. What are some of the requirements for EPI? The main requirements is that you have the U.S. equivalent of a bachelor's degree, that you are currently teaching and have 2 years experience, and that you have advanced English skills. Those are the main requirements that we look for when initially screening your application. How long can I stay in the U.S.? EPI is a 3-year program. After 3 years, you can apply for a 2-year extension. So if you get the extension, that would be a 5-year program. So you can expect your time in the U.S. with EPI to last from 3 to 5 years. What subjects are you looking for? So EPI places teachers in all subjects. The schools we work for are looking for teachers in a variety of different subjects. We don't look for just 1 or 2. So regardless of what you're teaching, just go ahead and start the application process with us at teachwithepi.com. Is there an age limit? No, there is no age limit. We hire teachers of all ages, so just go ahead and get started. How much does the program cost? So EPI does not take an application fee. We don't directly charge our teachers anything. Where you might have some costs with the program is that you will be responsible for paying for the documents related to your application. For example, a criminal record check usually costs money, and a credential evaluation usually costs money. For the credential evaluation, we will reimburse up to $160 of the credential evaluation cost once you are placed in a school in the U.S. So once you get to the United States, we will reimburse you $160 for your credential evaluation. You also will have to take care of your visa application, and we pay for $750 of your airfare, but anything beyond $750 you would have to pay for as well. Do I need a driver's license? If you have a driver's license, we will need to see a copy of it. However, you do not have to be a driver to participate in EPI. Now, not being a driver does mean that you would be limited in the places that you could work, because we would have to put you in a school where you would have easy access to public transportation. However, that doesn't mean that you can't apply just because you don't have a driver's license. What grades and levels are you looking for? So we are looking for all grades and levels for grades kindergarten through 12th grade. We do not place in the college level. So in terms of ages, that looks like students who are between the ages of 5 and 18. We also don't place pre-K teachers. Do I need a return letter? That is something you will have to ask team@teachwithepi.com. We ask for that sort of documentation sometimes, but it also depends on what other sort of documentation is in your application. So whether or not you specifically will need a return letter will need to go to that email address. And just to repeat that again, that is team@teachwithepi.com. And that's the same for the do I have to have a credit card? You will have to email that to team@teachwithepi.com. And just to repeat on how to apply, you need to go to teachwithepi.com and you will scroll down until you see the big orange button that says apply to teach in the US, or maybe just says apply, depending on which page you're on. The button looks a little different, but it's always big and orange and square. So just look for that button and click it and you can start the application process. When is the deadline to apply? So we accept applications at any time. However, if you're looking to get placed for the 2018 school year, you really need to get started right away. The school year in the United States starts August 2018. So if you don't start your application till June, the likeliness of you getting everything together and placed before August is unlikely. However, you can always wait until apply till June and we can consider you for the 2019 school year. Or we have had rare instances where people have applied in June and been able to get placed. But you're always better off starting as soon as possible. When does it start? So that kind of ties into my last question. The school year in the United States runs from middle of August to the end of May, beginning of June. So you would start in the middle of August of whatever year you get placed. So if you got placed in 2018, that would be mid-August 2018. How long does it take to apply? So the answer to this varies. We do ask for a lot of documentation and we do have an interview process. So the answer to how long does it take, it varies depending on how long the documentation takes. It's best to start the process as soon as possible so you can get those documents together as soon as possible, because it may take you a while to get some of them, such as the criminal record check. Can my family come too? So we as a company do sponsor what we call J2 visas, which are for the dependents of our teachers. A dependent is a spouse or any children under the age of 21. So the only thing that we ask is that you do consider whether or not you would be able to financially support your family here. But if you're in a good financial situation to bring your family, and if your family includes a spouse and children under the age of 21, we will sponsor them on a J2 visa. We have another question coming in. I'm sorry for the pause. What if I have an MBA? So we do ask that you have some sort of pedagogy background. I can't really speak to your specific education because I don't know what your application looks like. So you are not ineligible for having an MBA. So go ahead and apply and we'll review your education, and you can also email more specifics about your application and your specific education situation to team@teachwithepi.com, and we'll be able to help you further. All right, so it looks like that's our last question for today. If you have any other questions that we didn't get to, or you just come up with something after this Q&A session, please email them at team@teachwithepi.com. So in closing, I would like to share this quote from J. William Fulbright that I feel illustrates the importance of cultural exchange education. He says, "We must try to expand the boundaries of human wisdom, empathy, and perception, and there is no way of doing that except through education." Much like Fulbright talks about here, at EPI, we hope to expand the understanding of U.S. students by giving them the opportunity to learn from teachers like you. So that's all for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We are excited to have these webinars to communicate with our teachers and applicants. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to hear more about our upcoming webinars and events, as well as to hear more from our current teachers on those videos I talked about. If you have any more questions, please be sure to email us at team@teachwithepi.com. Have a good day, everybody.